I was 12 when I died. Doctors called it a miracle. But what I saw, it wasn't heaven. It was a place of shadows, and it remembers me.
A near-death experience story. Information kept private at the family's request. She was 12 years old. She still liked simple things. Sleeping with her pillow, laughing at silly jokes, asking grown-up questions that adults couldn't answer. That day, nobody imagined these would be the last hours she was seen as just a normal kid. When her body started to fail, she didn't get it right away. There was a quick, confusing pain, then a strange feeling of deep tiredness, like everything inside her was shutting down at the same time. Her heart stopped for 7 minutes. 7 minutes where, officially, there was no life. But for her, that's when everything began. The moment her body stopped, the fear went away. It didn't get smaller, it wasn't beaten. It just vanished, like it was stuck in her still body. Her mind broke free all at once, without warning, without getting ready. She didn't go through a tunnel of light. She fell into a heavy silence. A silence that didn't welcome her. A silence that watched. She saw herself above her own body. It was small, fragile. It felt wrong to see it like that, not moving. Big people were around her, crying, talking fast, touching her like they were trying to force her back. She knew the faces, she knew the voices, but she felt no connection. This confused her. She thought she'd feel sad to leave, desperate, wanting to go back. But she felt none of that. She only felt a strange neutral feeling, as if her body was just a piece of clothing that had fallen to the floor. When she realized she didn't need to breathe anymore, something inside her grew, not up, not forward, inward, and then the air changed. She didn't go to a nice place. The first place she saw was dark, but not totally. There was a thick, living dimness, as if the air itself held old feelings. There was no clear ground, no sky. Everything seemed to float. The worst part wasn't the darkness. It was the feeling, sadness, being left alone, old fear. They didn't come from her, but they entered her. She started to feel memories that weren't hers. Faceless cries, deep loneliness, worries that seemed to have been stored for a long time. It was like that place was made of everything no one could fix while they were alive. Then she saw other kids, some still, staring into nothing, others hunched over like they were hiding. None were playing, none were smiling. It didn't seem like a punishment. It seemed like a state of endless confusion. It was there that fear truly showed up. Presence appeared. It had no clear shape, no face. It didn't speak with words. But when she got close, the girl suddenly understood everything, and that was more unsettling than any picture. The presence showed her scenes from her own life. Small moments. Fear she never told anyone. Times she felt alone, even when others were around. Things she thought weren't important. Everything was important. The presence showed something even harder to accept. That place wasn't there to punish. It was there because some minds can't move on. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do with what they carry. And they get stuck in heavy emotional states, like never-ending nightmares. Death doesn't fix confusion. It makes it bigger. And then the girl understood something scary for someone so young. Not everyone goes to the light right away. When fear threatened to take over, something different happened. A small light appeared. It wasn't strong. It didn't light up everything. But it was different from the rest. It didn't come from outside. It came from inside the girl's own mind. The presence made her understand. That light only appeared when there was still a connection to love, no matter how small. The girl thought of her mother, of the smell of her home, of an old hug, and the light grew. The heavy atmosphere slowly started to move away. It didn't disappear completely, but it lost its strength. The other children didn't follow her. Some didn't even notice. That was what hurt the most. She went through the light with fear and hope at the same time, and before she could understand where she was going, she felt a strong pull. Coming back was rough.
Her body felt too tight. The air burned her lungs. Her heart raced like it was trying to make up for lost time. When she opened her eyes in the hospital, she screamed, not from physical pain, from memory. She knew that if she forgot, something important would be lost forever.
The doctor said she was dead for 7 minutes. Her family cried, relieved. But no one imagined what she had seen. After she came back, she didn't sleep well. She was afraid of silence, not of darkness, but of silence, because silence seemed too alive. She started to notice things in people, not voices, not visions, feelings. She could feel when someone carried an old sadness, when someone pretended to be okay. She tried to tell them. The adults felt uncomfortable. They said it was imagination, trauma, childish fantasy. The family asked for the information to be protected, to protect her, to protect them. She stopped talking, but she never forgot. Today, she doesn't talk about heaven or hell. She talks about states, about awareness, about the danger of holding on to pain and thinking it will just go away. She says the most unsettling part of the experience wasn't dying. It was realizing that death doesn't automatically teach you things. It just shows what's already inside. And that even a child can come back too different to pretend nothing happened. In the days after she left the hospital, everyone said she was lucky, that it was a miracle, that God had a plan. The words were kind, but none of them really captured what had happened. She came back alive, but she wasn't the same. Her body recovered too fast for something that had stopped for 7 minutes. The tests couldn't explain it. Doctors talked about childhood resilience. The family accepted it, relieved, without asking too many questions. Asking questions was scary. The problem was her gaze. It wasn't a sad look. It was an old look. She watched adults like someone watching older kids pretending to be in charge. She paid too much attention to silences, to small gestures, to contradictions. She noticed when someone smiled out of obligation, when they said, "Everything is fine," when it wasn't. And that made her tired. At night, lying in bed, she felt that distant weight again. Not like before, not like the dark place, but like a memory that breathed. She learned too soon that forgetting wasn't an option, not completely. There were nights she woke up with a calm heart, but with eyes full of tears. She couldn't explain why. She just felt a strange longing, not for someone, for a state. Over time, something started to bother her deeply. The fear of growing up like the adults she saw around her. They seemed hard inside, too tired to feel, too annoyed to listen. She noticed how many carried old pains, as if they were part of who they were. How they made suffering seem normal by saying, "That's just how life is." That scared her more than the dark place she had seen after death. She understood, even without fancy words, that ignoring pain doesn't make it go away. It only pushes it deeper, where it turns into anger, coldness, or emptiness. There were days she tried to be normal, to pretend nothing had happened, to play, to laugh, to act like the world was simple. But every time she tried to get too far from what she had learned, something inside her tightened. It was like a quiet warning. If you forget who you are inside, you'll get lost. A few months later, the dreams began. They weren't regular nightmares. No monsters, no chases. They were states. Places similar to what she had seen on the other side, but less intense. Fragments. Sometimes she dreamed of the darkness, but now it didn't seem mean. It seemed empty, like a place waiting to be filled. On other nights she saw the children again. Some were different, less hunched. Others stayed the same. She woke up knowing not everyone can get out of that state on their own. Not because they're bad, because they lack guidance. These dreams left her worn out, not physically, spiritually, as if something was rearranging itself inside her while she slept. Her family noticed she was growing up too fast, that she asked tough questions, that small unfairnesses bothered her, that she didn't accept empty answers. To protect her, they decided to keep it quiet. At At the family's request, doctors, school, and close people were told to treat the event only as a serious medical incident. The rest was pushed aside, as if it could disappear that way. But for her, it never disappeared. As the years went by, she developed something hard to explain, an almost painful sensitivity to other people's feelings. It wasn't just regular empathy. It was direct sensing. She could feel when someone was about to break down, even if they were smiling. She could feel when a house was full of tension. She could feel when words were said without truth. This made her avoid certain places, certain talks, certain people, not because she was judging, but to protect herself inside. Being in very heavy environments quickly drained her energy. There were times she thought something was wrong with her, that maybe she had come back broken. But quietly, she remembered what she had understood from the other side. It wasn't a flaw, it was a result. She had seen what happens when feelings are ignored for too long. Over time, an understanding became solid inside her, clear and uncomfortable. Death doesn't automatically change anyone. It continues what was already happening. Confused minds stay confused. Hardened minds stay closed. Loving minds find their way more easily. This idea was unsettling even for adults. For a child, it was almost too much to bear, but she couldn't pretend she didn't know it. She started to be careful about what she felt, what she thought, what she kept quiet about, not out of fear of punishment, but from understanding that all of it had real weight. She knew she didn't want to go back to that place of confusion. Looking back as she got older, she understood something very important. It wasn't the light that saved her. It was the connection. The love she remembered. True affection. The feeling that was still alive and strong. That created a path. And this became the biggest lesson from the experience. It's not what a person believes that matters. It's what they hold on to emotionally throughout life. To this day, the information is still protected at the family's request. Not out of shame, but out of care. She knows not everyone is ready to hear certain things, that some truths, when told too soon, hurt more than they help. She lives, she studies, she smiles, she exists in the world like anyone else, but she carries something inside her that will never leave. The certainty that death isn't the biggest danger. The biggest danger is living fully on the outside and feeling empty on the inside. And that, she learned at 12 years old. In the 7 minutes her body died, and her mind woke up. After that first quiet period forced by the adults, life went on as if everything was fixed. School, schedules, doctor visits, routine. On the outside, she seemed like just a child who had been through something serious and survived. Inside, there was a whole layer of reality no one saw. She started to realize that the world of the living was stranger than the place she had gone. There, after death, everything was too honest. Here, everything seemed like a show. People said good morning without really being present. They said I love you without feeling it. They said it will pass without understanding what was happening. This left her confused. She tried to fit in, but there were times she felt a kind of deep unease, as if the world was out of focus. Sometimes, in the middle of class, her heart would race for no reason. It wasn't fear, it was recognition. Something in the air, very subtly, reminded her of that confused state she had seen on the other side. She started to avoid fights, not because she was giving in, but because she could feel when an argument was about to turn into something bigger, something that would leave bad feelings behind. And she knew, with a certainty that didn't match her age, that unresolved emotional leftovers create a heavy burden, a very heavy burden. There were nights she stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, thinking about the children she had seen. She wondered if they had managed to get out of that state, if someone had gone to find them, if they had found a light of their own, even a dim one. These questions didn't come with desperation, but with a quiet sadness, too grown up. She started to write, not regular diaries, but loose sentences, thoughts that didn't seem like her own. Things like, don't hold back, feel it all the way, don't get hard. Sometimes she would reread them and not remember writing them. Her family thought it was a way to deal with trauma. She knew it was something else. It was filtered memory. As time passed, she noticed something even harder to explain. Some people made her deeply tired, even without talking to them. Just being near them was enough. Others, even quiet ones, brought her relief. She couldn't explain this without sounding strange, so she learned to observe quietly. She quickly learned to protect herself. There was a phase where she tried to deny everything. She tried to be like the other kids. She tried to laugh loudly, to distract herself, to get involved in small dramas. It worked for a few hours. Then a strange emptiness came, as if something important was being betrayed. It was like living with two levels of reality at the same time. The visible world said it had all been an accident. The inner world said it had been a crossing. When she got a little older, she started to notice something that made her deeply uncomfortable. Many adults were afraid of death, but none seemed to get ready for it. They lived as if they would last forever, but felt as if everything would end at any moment. This contradiction was everywhere. She understood why. Most people aren't afraid of dying. They're afraid of meeting themselves. She knew that after death, there were no masks, no social excuses, no characters. What was left was what had been grown inside, and that made every daily choice much more serious than it seemed. She started to choose carefully, not because she wanted to be perfect, because of an inner responsibility. There were hard times, quiet crises, days when she wanted to forget everything and just be ignorant like before. But every time she tried to erase that experience, something inside her reacted strongly, not as a punishment, but as a misalignment. She couldn't unlearn what she had seen. Over time, she developed a different relationship with silence. Not the heavy silence of the other side, but an attentive silence. A silence where thoughts slowed down and feelings became clearer. It was in that state that she felt from afar that same gentle presence that had appeared as light. She didn't see it, she didn't hear it, but she felt when she was in sync. It was like a field of support. At certain times, she noticed she avoided paths that might have made her hardened. Not because of morals, but because of a clear gut feeling. She knew, from somewhere very deep, that certain choices create layers that are hard to undo later, and that scared her more than any idea of divine punishment. Her family kept protecting the information, refusing interviews, avoiding public attention. They said it was to preserve her childhood. Deep down, they were also afraid that if it was talked about too much, it would become uncontrollable. She understood. Some truths don't need a stage, they need maturity. In her teenage years, another difficult phase came, the feeling of not fully belonging anywhere, not to the child's world, which she had already outgrown, nor to the adult world, which still seemed too unaware. She felt caught between worlds, exactly like in that state right after death. This made her understand something essential. That experience hadn't just been about dying. It had been about the state of awareness, and states of awareness can be visited even while alive. That realization changed everything. She stopped waiting for big answers from outside. She stopped looking for confirmation. She started to observe how she felt after each choice, each word, each silence. Her body reacted quickly when something was out of alignment. She trusted that. Today, when she looks back, she knows she didn't come back to tell a nice story. She came back with a quiet responsibility. The responsibility not to ignore what she felt, not to push pains deep down, not to live numb. She knows she can't save anyone, but she knows she can avoid getting lost herself. And she understands, with a clarity that still scares her, that the most unsettling place she saw after death wasn't dark because it was evil. It was dark because there was no awareness. What affected her most wasn't fear. It was the feeling of souls waiting for something they never learned to give themselves. Presence, recognition, truth. She came back from 7 minutes of absence, but she spent the rest of her life learning what to do with what she saw in those 7 minutes. And she knows that when death comes again, because one day it won't be a surprise. It will be a continuation, not of the body, but of what she chose to keep alive inside her since she was 12.